This is not a reading. This is a reckoning. All right. If this found you, it's because something in your chest has been heavy. All right. You've been pretending it isn't. Right. And the truth is, Virgo, you loved somebody who didn't know how to love themselves. Right. They didn't know how to love themselves. Right. You loved someone so deeply, and instead of admitting that, they made you question your worth. Let's start there. All right, let's start there, Virgo. Okay, Virgo, you're not hard to love. You're not. You're not. You're precise. You're rational, right? You're observant, right? You know how to take care of your partner and understand their needs, right? You see the flaw in the marble before anyone even notices the statue, right? And when you love someone, you love them in the details. You love them in the quiet corrections, right? You love them in the discipline, right? You love them by protecting your futures. This is for Virgo, right? But this person, they mistook your devotion for criticism, right? They mistook your structure for control, right? They mistook your depth for pressure. Because loving you requires growth, right? And they were still negotiating with their immaturity, right? And Virgo, here's what happened behind the scenes, right? This person, they felt safe with you, right? They felt safe with you, right? They did. The part that they won't say out loud is how you made them feel seen, right? But being seen is terrifying when you're hiding wreckage. They knew you deserved consistency, Virgo. They knew you deserved loyalty. They knew you deserved clarity. And instead of rising to meet that, they oscillated. They oscillated, right? Hot, cold, in, out, present, absent, right? And that's what you went through, right? Future talk, silence. Not because they didn't care, right? But because they cared and felt inadequate, Virgo. This person carries shame. Deep marrow level shame. Shame about money. Shame about stability, right? Shame about past mistakes, right? This person carries a lot of shame about who they were before they met you, right? And instead of confessing to that insecurity, they masked it with ego, with defensiveness, right? They masked it with distance, right? That's what they did. You felt the shift. You did, right? You always do. You always feel the shift. You felt energy. The energy went from we to me, right? So you felt when they started protecting themselves instead of protecting the connection, right? You felt when they began rehearsing independence instead of building partnership. It hurt. Not because you're fragile, but because you're loyal, right? And it wasn't casual for you. You invested time. You invested emotion. You invested possibility, right? Some of you gave tears, card for Virgo, right? Some of you gave tears. Some of you gave years, right? You know, you wanted a higher level of commitment, right? Some of you gave forgiveness. You gave money. Some of you gave your body while wondering if they were even emotionally somewhere else. And the hardest part, Virgo, is you kept understanding them. You kept rationalizing their behavior, right? You kept saying they're just going through something. They have trauma. Their mom wasn't around. Their dad wasn't around. And yes, they were going through something. They were. But you were going through something too, Virgo. You were. And Virgo, here's the internal shift. You don't just want love, you want peace, right? You want someone who could meet your nervous system without destabilizing it. You want someone who doesn't turn conflict into chaos, right? What is this person doing right now with Virgo, right? They're probably ignoring you, but they're ignoring themselves, right? And this person, they triggered your anxiety, right? They triggered your overthinking. They triggered your fixer instinct, right? They did. Because when they pulled away, you analyzed even harder because you wanted to understand why. When they got distant, you became quieter. When they avoided accountability, you became more accommodating, right? You shrank in places you never should have, Virgo. Let's talk about this person, the person on Virgo's mind, right? The person on Virgo's mind, right? This person's thinking about you, right? There's competition, there's struggle, right? They're thinking about you constantly, but not in a romantic fantasy way, in more of like a reckoning way. They're remembering how you handled things with maturity, right? They're comparing you to others, right? 7 of Cups, reversed, right? You allowed this person to understand that they had a lack of purpose. So you were the upgrade, right? You were the safe place they didn't know how to keep. And now the silence is loud, right? This is a March reading, right? They didn't expect you to actually pull your energy back. They didn't expect you to detach. You detached with dignity, right? They thought you would wait. They thought you would explain. They thought you would chase clarity, right? But no, you didn't. You moved on to calmer waters, right? And when they thought you would chase clarity and you didn't, that shift, that's what's haunting them, right, Virgo? Now, what's coming next for Virgo is it's not a dramatic love confession, right? It's not. Because this person's paralyzed. It's subtler than that, right? It's observation, it's curiosity, it's testing the waters. They will reach out. They will. But it won't start with vulnerability, right? It'll start light, casual, neutral. Hey, how's the dog? Hey, I think I left my laptop at your house, right? Because why? Because pride is still involved, Virgo. Pride is still involved. But underneath the surface energy is fear, right? Fear that you're actually done. Fear that somebody else has stepped into your position, and some have. Fear that they miscalculated your tolerance. Virgo, and here's where you must be different. Don't over-explain. Don't perform warmth to make them comfortable, Virgo. Don't collapse your standards because they finally circle back. You are not the lesson, you are the consequence. This is the part where Virgo wins, but only if Virgo stays regulated, right? Only if Virgo stays regulated. You don't need revenge, and you don't need to prove your value, right? You don't need to remind them what they lost. Your silence will communicate more than your paragraphs ever did, Virgo. It's true. It's true. Right? It's true. Let's talk about the shadow. You have to release the part of you that believes love requires endurance. You were taught that I need to endure pain for love. Let go of that. If someone continuously confuses you, they're not aligned. If someone repeatedly destabilizes you, they're not secure. You deserve emotional steadiness, Virgo. You guys are givers. You're lovers. And Virgo, let me tell you something. What's coming next for you is not chaos, it's clarity. Queen of Cups, Chariot. This person may attempt to return, but the version of you they left is not the version they're coming back to. You're sharper now. You're more contained, right? You're less available for half measures, right? You're not tolerating the stuff you used to tolerate. You're not. You will be the one deciding. Because the power dynamic shifted the moment you stopped chasing, Virgo. This connection wasn't random. It was catalytic, right? It exposed where you were overgiving, right? It exposed where you tolerated inconsistency, right? It exposed where you mistook potential for reality. And now you know better. And Virgo, the next love, whether this person matured or someone entirely new, will not require you to micromanage the emotional temperature of the room. It'll feel calm. And calm will feel unfamiliar at first, but that's what you're stepping into, Virgo. Your love life is not ending. It's upgrading, right? And the person who hurt you, they're learning in real time what happens when you lose a Virgo who truly cared. You felt this in your body, right? If this translated something to you, right, comment below, compassion or a heart emoji, and let me know. I'm going to be choosing 2 people from the comments to give a free 15-minute reading for. And for those navigating the shift in real time, I'm open to a limited container for private recalibration sessions. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready to move, not wait, all right? It's by application only, and my website is alignmentbyemil.com, all right? And I'll have it below in the description. Love you guys.